Hello guys, welcome back. And by the thumbnail of this video, you guys can definitely tell what the topic is today, because the Mega Cab, unfortunately, it needs some love. If you guys have been watching for a long time, I bought this truck, I think in October of 2022. So I've owned it for about a little over 2 years now, and it has been through basically every shape and form that it could be. Starting off, when I bought this truck, there was not a scratch, not a dent, not a rock chip, nothing, not a rip inside the interior. It was like a brand new truck off the showroom floor when I bought it. And now it's seen better days. But we have been doing a lot of upgrades to this truck and trying to make it nicer. Originally, when I bought the truck, I had this thing in my head to where I was like, okay, right now I have second gens. I think I had a ZF6 Duramax at the time. I just need something reliable that will get me from point A to point B with my gooseneck while going across the country to all these shows. And that was very short-lived. So I would say about a year after I bought the truck, my heavy foot had got the best of me and it caused the stock 68 to blow out of the truck. Fortunately, BD Transmissions hooked us up with a Towmaster, a really good, nice, smooth shifting transmission that has held the power of the motor and the weight of the trailer for a very long time. A little bit after that, I went ahead and blew the head gasket on the motor, and we got all that stuff fixed, blah, blah, blah. And then about 3 months after that, the motor decided that it did not want to be inside the truck anymore. So then that blew up, and then at that point, I was like, okay, I'm just on the verge to giving up with this truck, and I kind of just threw it off to the side for about 6 months. Up until the end of last year, I actually went out and bought a motor for the truck. We slapped that in. It was perfect, but it has some wiring issues. So today what we are going to do is we're going to take this truck to a local diesel shop. We're going to drop it off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them, hey, I want you guys to get this thing mechanically, running and driving amazing. I don't want any problems with it. I want it just to be, get in it, start it, and go. Because right now it is on a 14-inch coilover lift in the front with a traction bar set up in the rear on a 40-inch tire. Now you guys may think, Brandon, that is not logical for driving every day with a gooseneck and hauling to shows. Surprisingly, this truck drives better right now than the day I did buy the truck and it was out of its stock form. How? That doesn't make any sense. I'm pretty sure the fuel mileage isn't all there, but one thing that doesn't work to the truck is the fuel gauge. But we will get all them problems sorted out with the truck. So let's talk about it really quick. Originally, when I bought the truck, it was all stock. I instantly threw it on 20 by 10s, I think, and a 36 Versa tire. And obviously now it has went up a lot in size. Throughout the course of it all, though, I have had 26s, 24s, 22s, 20s, basically every size you can buy for a cast wheel, because I've never got around to the point where I wanted to put a forged wheel on it. I just didn't see the purpose when I'm going to be using this truck every single day. And replacing a cast wheel is a lot cheaper. You know, when you run it into a curb or you smash it with a Bobcat, which I've done about all of that with this truck. At one point, the bed did get destroyed with an excavator. Yeah, that wasn't a good day for this truck. And that's what led into us dually swapping it. Back to what we were talking about. It does have a coilover lift on the front, heavy duty crossover steering, Heim joint sway bar links, a 4-link long arm style setup to the front axle, a beautiful cradle that is actually massive. I don't know if the video does justice, but the cradle is like 4 feet long. Put my name on a polished overlay, traction bars to the rear. Like I was saying though, this truck wasn't originally a dually. So what I went ahead and did is I actually took the axle out of the big Mega Cab that we're building, put that axle into here because that is an original Dodge Ram dually axle 3500. I went ahead, obviously, got the bed for the truck. That looks amazing. I don't know what it is, but I just have something for making everything a dually. As you guys can see, I have this Mega Cab's a dually, my big gray truck's a dually, and I've had like a lot of dually throughout the course of the years of my career doing YouTube and showing you guys all of my trucks on these videos. After I dually swapped it, I went ahead and did a full color match 5th gen rear end on this truck. That turned out amazing, and surprisingly, the power handle works with it. We still have yet to get a camera for the back of it, but we can get that done at any point from our boys over Infinite Customs. So let's talk about a couple of things that I want to do personally to the truck before we get into taking this truck to the local diesel shop and getting all of the bugs fixed out with it. So first things first, it is a factory 2500. I want to upgrade the leaf springs to it, but I don't want to kill that smooth ride quality that we have back here. I actually went out and bought some airbags for it. Now you guys may be thinking these are a lot bigger than a traditional helper bag setup. Well, I have had helper bags on this truck, and for some reason, I have broke every single set, and it has been through like 3 sets of helper bags. But I'm just sick of being out of town and the bag blowing out on this truck and then driving home with the trailer squatted to the moon. So essentially what we will be doing is taking this bag. I'm going to build a cross member that bolts into the factory bump stop location. I might weld it onto the frame just so it's a little bit stronger. We'll build a little truss for the rear axle, and then once all that stuff is built, basically this bag will sit inside of here nice and centered, and we will have an air ride setup on the rear of this truck. And in my opinion, the bag is huge, but I'm not going for 100% looks with this build. I want this thing to function and tow how it's supposed to. And the first step is definitely putting an air ride setup on the rear. And ultimately, I think once we get the air ride setup done, this thing will ride a lot better with the back of it on airbags. If we come around to the front of the truck, I want to get under the hood with this thing. I want to put a bigger turbo on it, bigger injectors, put some more fuel to it. But I don't want to go too crazy because I want to make sure that I'm still maintaining good drive pressures. I don't want to have so much boost where it just blows stuff apart and risk the reliability of this truck and what I'm trying to do with it. If we come into here, I'll show you guys. By no means is this truck inside of its perfect state. We'll start it up. Right now it has the traction control light on, the fuel light on, brake light, check engine light, airbag, ABS, and the seatbelt light. But the seatbelt light will go right off if we just plug it in. Before the motor blew up, this thing had no lights on the dash, and it honestly ran great. I'm actually shocked that the motor blew up, but I mean, when you've put this thing through so much abuse, the motor is only going to hang on for so long. So I have came to the conclusion that the truck has some type of wiring issue, because everything that I have done to the truck, I have replaced the parts that the code scanner comes back to being bad, and they still don't work. So personally, Brandon is not good when it comes to wiring and the electronics of a vehicle. I can do rock lights, train horns, all that stuff, no problem, but I'm not really too tech savvy when it comes up to wire diagrams. And I do know that when I put this motor in, I broke the transmission harness, so I had to go out and buy a new one of those. Unfortunately, when I bought the trans harness that I was told would fit and plug right into this truck, it wasn't. I have the stock harness off of the transmission on the truck. It has a couple ripped out sensors, but I'm pretty sure the shop I'm taking it to can definitely figure that out, because right now the transfer case on this truck isn't plugged in, which I'm sure is the culprit to most of the problems that this truck is having. But I have to get this truck washed off really quick, get it out of the shop, and we're going to take it about 25 minutes down the road, drop it off, and we're gonna let them have it for about a week. And like I said, I'm just gonna be like, okay, fix every problem that it has going on with it. Obviously, I can do the stuff that is just changing out parts and like the mechanical stuff, but the wiring part of it, I honestly want nothing to do with that. And I would like for my fuel gauge to work and to have no lights on my dash, because right now it's an absolute Christmas tree. Really quick though, if we come underneath the hood, this beautiful, massive cowl hood that I have, we already have a intake manifold on it, the delete kit, the air intake as well. I made a custom overlay that goes on the fuse panel. The truck has new batteries inside of it. It unfortunately is missing a fan shroud. But this is the time I am going to take my time with this truck and get everything clean, how it should be, have it looking good, performing amazing, and yeah. So right now there's not really much to see underneath the hood, but one of these days we will get into cleaning up underneath the hood. I do want to do some more horsepower upgrades to it, because now I have a transmission that will hold the power. Obviously, I know that you do have regular maintenance you have to do. You have parts that will go out, alternators, brakes, blah, blah, blah. But I want this thing mechanically running and driving absolutely amazing. We have the driving part down, but right now it doesn't run 100%. So right now we're going to head out of the shop, go drop this truck off, and hopefully they have some good answers for us here in the upcoming week. So we are currently headed to the diesel shop to drop off my mega cab, and I'm not saying this truck drives bad, runs bad, nothing. It's just it has some type of wiring issue, like I stated, that me personally, I don't know how to figure it out. You guys can see right here that the truck runs as it should. It just decided it wanted to lose steering wheel controls. I'm sure that not having the right harness on the transmission, being that the transfer case isn't plugged in, is probably why I have a lot of the lights on the dash. But then again, I am not the best when it comes to wiring, like I stated in this whole video. So I think once the transfer case is plugged in, I should lose the ABS, brake, and traction control light. I'm not sure though, but if not, I think that the rear harness on this truck is having a problem because the brake lights and other things don't like to function properly. But I have time to drop this truck off, so we're going to head there right now and drop it off. But other than the problems that it obviously has with the wiring, this thing drives literally amazing. You can't tell it's on a 14-inch lift. You can't tell it's got a 40-inch tire on it. I mean, what you can tell is that it's got a huge cowl hood sitting right there. And yeah, it looks sick, but it kind of just gets in the way while towing a trailer and daily driving this truck. But this thing drives phenomenal, runs phenomenal. It does need a little bit of love, like I was saying. But ultimately, instead of me doing a new build this year, I would like to do stuff to this truck and just get this thing 100% how I want it. But other than that, we're going to get to the diesel shop really quick and drop this thing off. We're going to go back to the shop and I will show you guys another project that we have been working on. And you guys will see what I'm going to show you in an upcoming video that I should have up sometime this week. So, the Mega Cab is going to a new home for about a week or two. And kind of sad, but hopefully when we get it back, everything's fixed and I don't need to buy a new truck because this one has too bad of wiring problems. But one day you'll be back in the form to where you're amazing and you run and drive perfect, but today's just not the day. So hopefully I get these back in about a week and the truck will drive and run and properly function. Back to the shop we go. Now that we are back to the shop, as you guys might have seen in the last video, I finished this truck. We got everything off the powder coat. I'm not gonna go too far into detail with this truck because you guys will see an upcoming video on this and I cannot wait to share that with you guys. So the big truck is still here and everything has turned out perfectly on this truck. It is still missing the drop box, but we won't talk about that. I haven't got to putting the powder coated stuff on the truck again because I've been so busy with other things. So right now the sway bar is missing off of it. The Heim joint is just chilling right there and the drag link is gone. But this is a truck for fun. But the Mega Cab needs to perform at its best for me. So they have the truck. We have a lot of stuff to do here at the shop. So with that being said, that is going to end today's video because I have a lot to do and I want to go pick up my truck here in about a week. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Drop a comment on what I should do to the motor, and I will see you guys in the next one.